Hey crafters, it's me, Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and today is Sunday, and Liney just felt like he needed to start us off, I guess, so I'm just going to give him a little snack so we can move on. Hi, Vicky! We're going to be doing this really cool watermelon card, and I do want you to check out in the description where I got my inspiration from, because it is, what do I want to say? It's not from the US. I want to say it's Russian, but I could be completely wrong. And her watermelon card is phenomenal. I'm not saying that this one's not good. I'm just saying that hers was my inspiration. I'm sure that she used much different supplies than what I did, but I just grabbed some colored pencils and thought, you know what? Everyone could make this card. And it's really, really cute. And the little piece of watermelon comes out, and you can put anything you want on it. And you can do it with the colors any way you want to do the colors, but it's just a really fun summertime card. And so I thought that you guys would just appreciate making that. And I just put a piece of green on the inside. I didn't mean to have it all dotted up on the inside, so I'll probably add a little white liner. But you want to be careful which side you put your embossing on. Woo! Learn from my mistakes, right? So, I always come on a little bit early so I can say hello to my community that comes in for the live chat. And if you're unfamiliar with the extended community beyond this YouTube channel, you're going to want to go over to Facebook and look up Quality Crafts. And we've got several moderators in here today, so hopefully they'll throw up some of those links for you, so that'll be easy to find. Otherwise, they're always linked in the description box below so that you can find them pretty easily. So we've got Vicky here and Nina. Hi, Aleene. And Monica and Tracy. Hello, everyone. I have all the stuff out here that I used. Well, most of it. I just used a letter stamp set, so if you've got one, or maybe if you've already got something that has a sentiment written on it that you want to put across, doesn't really matter. You can use whatever you have. So I've got that all prepped and ready to go. And then I used this one, and I tried like crazy to find this Martha Stewart punch that has this little scallop thing for you to link it in the description. But for the life of me, I couldn't find it through Amazon, so you might have to go to the store to find it. Otherwise, you can look at some of the other ones that I've linked, or use one of my links to look through there. So I do affiliate with Amazon. So thank you guys so much for using my links. That gives me a little teeny commission. And if everybody starts using them, then that will help the channel grow. So I really appreciate you guys using my links. And then I also used this, which is completely not necessary, but I have it. It's the word window punch from Stampin' Up. And I used this to make the little stem, or the little, the little handle. You can use anything for a handle. I just happen to have that, so in case people are wondering, that's what I used. And then I colored that with a marker or something, but I'm just going to use pattern paper today. And then I've got my green for the inside and a bunch of colored pencils. So basically you'll need like a couple of pinks and a couple of greens, and that's it. And I used my blender pen for that, but you don't need a blender pen if you don't have one. It's not a big deal. Hi, Diane and Jennifer Meister. Mariette. Oh, wow. Hello from Belgium. That's cool. Nail polish patch. It does. Oh, my gosh, you guys, look. My nail polish and my shirt. I'm in pink and green today just for you guys. That's awesome. I didn't even plan that, but it worked out well, didn't it? That's funny. Sometimes I miss things. So here's a tip from Penny. She said, make sure that if you want me to see your comment or question, that I think you put a little @ sign and then my name, and then it'll pop up like bright colored so that I see it. The other way you can get my attention really quick is to use the little $ icon underneath there. What is that called? It's called Super Chat. So if you really want to get my attention, you can donate through that button, and it puts your little comment up like really huge, and it's really cool. So there are two ways that you can get my attention if you want your question answered. Otherwise, there are moderators in the group that will help answer questions along the way, and I'll do my best to follow that. And we will be starting promptly at 2:05. So if you're new to my channel, I start at 5 minutes after the hour to make sure that everyone gets in, because there is a lag, and I definitely don't want people to miss out. So if you're watching archived, that's why. You see that little thing in the beginning that says that we're getting started. will start soon, and then you see me come on, and then there's a bunch of talking, and that's because of my community joining me in live chat. So if you want to skip through all this, take your little button and toggle it right to where the project starts at 2:05. Perfect, Deb. Now I see it popped up bright orange and it says Jen Evers, and I grabbed my attention instantly. Hi, Lisa Ann. Hi, Tarita Johnson. Thank you guys for coming so much. It's Sunday. It's cloudy here today. And like the high of like 68. Like what happened to summer? Last week we were in almost up to 90. That's crazy. Jill Lucas, hi, you made it. Linda Landis is from Michigan. You're always welcome to put down where you're from. If you don't know where I'm from, I'm in Wisconsin, in the fabulous city of Madison. We love it here. So let me get rid of some of this stuff here, just so that I can see what everyone is saying. And we are making this cool watermelon card today. So if you don't have a glossy accent, or if you don't want to wait for things to dry, you're going to want to use like a clear embossing powder. And I think that's what I'm going to do today, is just clear emboss the whole darn thing. And I'm really kind of hoping that the colors will turn out just a little bit darker. So you can use Spectrum Noir markers, you can use Copics, regular, I think water-based markers would work. They might look a little bit different. Whatever you want to use, but I used colored pencils. Not watercolor, just plain old colored pencils. So you could use Inktense, watercolor pencils, Stampin' Up! Pencils, whatever you guys have. Don't be afraid to try new things and try things out. Just because you haven't done it doesn't mean it won't work. Oh my goodness, we've got Aleene from Norway. And Cindy from Canada. Raining, raining, raining. Yeah, I see a lot of raining. Waukesha, Wisconsin. Hey, another Wisconsinite. That's awesome. All right, it's 2:05, so we're going to get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is gather your supplies if you haven't done that already. I've already kind of laid out everything that's here that I'm going to be using. I'm going to do it one more time briefly. I used a Cuttlebug Swiss Dots folder. It's probably not called Swiss Dots, but there's no title on it. And then I used a stamp for the sentiment. So you grab out a sentiment stamp that you have. Mine's already on the block, ready to go. I used a Martha Stewart punch for the bottom of the card, which makes this really nice scallop punch, but any kind of punch on the bottom would be fine, or no punch at all. It still is going to look fabulous. And then I used the word window punch to make the stick, but you can hand cut the stick or use any kind of punch you want. That's not necessary. Colored pencils and a green piece of paper, and I'm going to use this pattern paper that's brown to make the stem today. I'm not even going to color it. I'm just going to use pattern paper, so that's another quick way of getting around that. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is cut out or draw and cut out the size of your watermelon. Just make sure that whatever size of watermelon that you make, hi Veronica, it's not bigger than your card front. So this is basically a card base right here, and I'm going to have to go grab another one in just a second. But I'm going to fold this into a card base here, and I'm going to cut it in half, because this is how I'm going to figure out whether or not my watermelon's going to fit. I'm just going to take this card base, and this is what I'm going to draw it on. I hand drew this watermelon circle, and there's still pencil marks on it, and I just colored right over the top of them, and I didn't even worry about it. And I bet you couldn't even tell, so don't sweat the small stuff. Yay, moderators! Who said that? That was a great idea. Whoop, whoop. Thank you guys. We're so glad you're here. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is I'm just going to go ahead and just say, okay, this looks like a good watermelon. Yeah? If you don't want a round watermelon, you can have like an oblong watermelon. I know we've seen some like that too. So here's like, yeah, that looks good. That's not bad. How about we do the oblong one today, since I've already done kind of a round one. Yeah, we'll use this one. And so you can go ahead and color on it first, or you can cut it out. I think it's quicker, not quicker, easier to color it before you cut it out. So I'm just going to take my rubber bandy band off of here. Oh, a decorative scissors. Scissors is a good idea too. So whatever color you start with doesn't really matter. You're just going to decide where you want your stripes. And so this is all I did, was I just started coloring from the top to the bottom. This is where I want my stripe to go, so I'm just going to scribble. Like anybody can scribble, right? Get your kids out. They can make these cards too. If you want to make yours really, really stunning, I mean stunning, check out where I got my inspiration from. It's linked below in the description box. I don't know what she used. I just saw the picture and thought it was fabulous and thought I really need to do that. But hers looks real. Like you could just pick it off the vine and eat it. And I don't know what she used, like I said, but they're probably markers or paints or alcohol ink, something that just turned out really, really fabulous. So try other things. When I link this in the Quality Crafts group today in the album, I'm going to want to see some of your creativity being put into there, okay? So don't just do exactly what I do. Experiment. Use what you have, what you know. Some of you guys are even more experienced than I am. You just have to have some confidence. And if you post in the Quality Crafts group, I guarantee you nobody will make fun of you or think ill of you or judge you for whatever part of your creative journey you're on or whatever kind of an artist you are. Because that's a personal thing, you know. I'm going to bring us in just a tad bit because I feel like you probably can't see that as well. So you're all invited over to that Quality Crafts group. That is not a private group, but I do have a private group. If you want to get into the Patreon group, that is a group of people who have pledged to me on Patreon because they are passionate about what I share here. They feel like they get a lot of value out of my videos, and they want to see me go full-time with this, so that if you're not sure, if you're not familiar with what I do for a living, I'm an interpreter for the deaf. Won't be next year because we don't have any kiddos left. And now all I'm doing is just going on the outside of the stripe with the darker. So next year I'll be in the school district, same place I was working before, but different building. Same district, and I'll be in SEA. But I really am striving to make this a full-time thing. So that's where the people at Patreon come in. They believe in my passion for bringing you guys easy-to-follow tutorials so that you can feel successful in your art. And so that's what that's for. So meet me over at Patreon if you're interested in finding out more about that. Or private message me. I'm glad to have a conversation with anybody who's interested. And all I'm doing here is scribbling, guys. Anybody can scribble. Now you can leave it scribbled like this, or you can use a blender pencil. And I did link the blender pencil down below, but it's not necessary. Kelly Lise, you are hilarious. You guys, we do Skype quite often, so if you like to Skype, you should watch the group for when we have Skype nights because it gets really funny. Not gonna lie, it gets super funny. Alright, and then, so I used a light green and a dark green, and then I'm gonna pick one that's almost like a bluer green. If you look really closely here, you'll see this like bluish green on the edges. You can add that into whatever kind of look you want. So basically I'm just gonna kind of use that to blend the light and the dark together, but I still want the light on the inside, so I'm doing this like really lightly just to blend it out. This is what the blender pen looks like if you're curious. It's a Prismacolor colorless blender pen and pencil. I'm sorry, I keep saying pen, but it is a pencil. And I've got color on the end of mine. Hello, camera. Did I turn off the... Maybe I did. Anyway, mine's kind of colored, and let's see. If you take the end of it like this and just rub that color off, it'll get rid of that pink and it'll go back to white. It's just colorless. There we go. See how it's just got no real color to it at all? That's what it looks like. And you can, mine's not sharpened right now, it's just down to a nub because basically you're going to use it for rubbing like two colors in together. So I'm just going to run this over the edge here so you can see what it looks like. I'm doing a really quick job of it. But if I just do this one little part here, that way you can see the difference between where here you can see the individual scribbles, and here that blender pencil has really like blended those together. Right down this line is where I used it. I hope you can see that difference. I can see the stark difference between those lines. I'll blend out one more side for you so you can see it. If you go in circular motions, that helps too. You don't have to though. You can go back and forth. You can go up and down. I'm just going to go in a circular motion here and see if I can get a little blending in here so that I can show you the difference. I think that the unblended actually looks kind of cool. So I'm probably going to go with a little less blended. So this one right here is not blended with the blender pen. So blender pencil. And this side is not. So you can see where all the little lines went back and forth. And right here, it's been, you know, blended in. Here, right here, it's been blended in. Okay, so that's what this Prismacolor colorless blender pencil does. These are not expensive. I think they're only like around $2 a pencil. And you can find this in the link below in the description box. Michelle Calvert said, Jen Evers, can you use Mineral Spirits trick for blending if you plan to emboss for the glossy look? Yeah, I don't see why not. I think you can use any kind of blending that you want to do as long as you let it dry and then emboss it. I mean, you don't want to emboss something that looks totally, you know, soaked with that. But I think that stuff dries pretty quickly, so I don't see any reason why you couldn't. I just never do because I never feel like getting it out. The whole, when she's talking about Mineral Spirits, which is a clear blending solution. It's used for many other things too. But you use like a blending stump and dip it in the Mineral Spirits and you blend it out like that, or any other kind of tool that you have. This is just an easier way, and then you don't have a Mineral Spirit bottle of something you could spill or whatever. I like the blender pencil because of that. So yeah, this looks kind of cool. I'm going to just blend out a couple more edges, and I'm going to leave a couple of them not blended. You know, and I'm scribbling, guys. Like, you don't have to be a super artist to do this. It just, I don't know, it's just so easy. All I'm doing is just rubbing it over like crazy, like one side of each. I'll leave the other side scribbled. So that's it. I mean, and if you have alcohol markers and stuff and you want to blend even further and just make that really, really cool, I mean, that would be fun too. And that's about it for your watermelon. We just created this part right here, just the circle. So then we're gonna create this part, and that's a little bit trickier. I just do it by hand, so I'm gonna show you how I did that too. But let's cut this one out. When I did this watermelon, I used glossy accents, or what's the other term for that? Liquid glass. Close to my heart makes liquid glass. I don't know if they still do. My bottle's like 20 years old. But that's what I used on it. And then I went, oh wow, that is kind of a pain in the rear. People don't want to like wait forever for that to dry. So this watermelon part on the inside, if I tilt it, you'll be able to see the shine. I used embossing powder on that, right over the top of my waxy colored pencils, and it still worked. So in case you were wondering. You don't have to do all of it. You could leave the inside pink watermelon part just plain matte and just glossify, that's a good word. Just glossify the edge of it if you want. I mean, whatever you want to do. So if you take a peek underneath here, we've got double-sided foam tape. So if you're looking for that, I have that in my store. We'll be using that. And we're going to hand make this little watermelon piece. And so you can make that any way you want. I'm going to show you some different options for that as we go along. So my goal right now on Patreon, if you guys are curious, is I'm really trying to get to 75 patrons, because at that point then I feel like I would be able to purchase one one of the EcoTank printers that is, so it makes it easier to print like things in color so that I can sell digital papers for people who don't, it's coming, guys. Digital stuff is coming. I'm just working on that. And I know there's a lot of people that find that it's very expensive to print things. So if I have a digital product in the store and you love it, but you don't want to have to print it, I can print it here for a set price. They'll be in the store, and then I would ship it to you, directly to you, so that you could have it. And that way you wouldn't have to spend your money on all that ink and all that printing and stuff. Cheers, guys. So I'm not sure how many of you guys know, but my husband and I started at a gym recently, and I went yesterday and today, and boy, I don't think I'm going to be able to walk tomorrow. Oh, and I have to get my other card base so that we can put that on there. Let me move this out of the way. And did I mention it? It's like super cold here. Look, I've got like my winter jammies on today. My winter jammy dance. Winter jammy dance. There you go. I know some of you guys really enjoy my dancing. And if you don't, you can just close your eyes and don't look. Tracy Bradshaw wants to know what kind of printer. They're called Epson EcoTanks. And they have these little tanks on the side where they hold a whole ton of ink. And like the ink is supposed to last you like a couple of years. Printing and printing and printing, it's supposed to still last you a couple of years. There's another brand that also sells one that's similar, but I just off the top of my head can't think of it. And so that's my next goal, is that I would love to reach 75 patrons so that I could do that and start getting all the digital stuff into it. Thanks, Linda. See, one person loved my dance. My day is made. So there's my watermelon. Oh, I even like this one better than the round one. You see that? That looks really cool. I might even put pink paper behind that watermelon instead of the dotted one today. I don't know. I wonder if I've got a piece of pink sitting here. I've got this. Would this be too busy? Oh my gosh, yes. That's crazy. Nope, that's not going to work. Nope, I don't have anything pink sitting here. Okay, well, it was a good thought. We'll stick with the white. We'll stick with the plan, Jen. Stick with the plan. All right, I'm going to go ahead right now and just cut out my stem since I have it sitting here. And so if you don't have a stem, you're just going to want to use your scissor and just cut a little rectangle and then use your corner punch. And mine should be sitting here. There it is. And just corner punch off the edges here. And bam. Whoops. I went way over the edge. What the hey? My corner punch is having issues. Check that out. So just go ahead and just use your fingers and your scissors. There. Perfect! It's a little fatter than that one, but that's okay. Now we've got two. Whoops. There, now you can see them. You know, maybe I don't want it that big. Maybe I do. I'm just going to leave it. We might use it that way. All right. I should, you know, I very rarely bring in like the cutter and the Cuttlebug and stuff, but I am going to grab the Cuttlebug, I think, and just haul it over here and show you how I do one side. So I want this side, the top of my card, to be embossed and not this side. If you looked at my other card, you'll notice that I made a big mistake. Oh, I accidentally did that side instead of this side. Silly me. So here's the embossing folder that I used. I'll let you look at that beautiful thing as I go get the Cuttlebug. Nothing's very far away from me. It's just that not everything fits in frame and looks great on here. And let's see. Let's back out here. Wrong way, Jen. Oh, look at that. So you can see it. All right. So this is the top of my card. This is the side I want embossed. So I'm going to put that side into the folder. Line it up and then put it through. Put my sandwich all together and then get started. There we go. Alright, when we pull out, we should have dots. Check it out! Ooh. Ah. It's fantastic, right? I love my Cuttlebug. I'm not dissing on all y'all's big shots and stuff. I'm just saying Cuttlebug is the bomb. I've had it forever and I love it. It's never let me down. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and use this guy to chop off some of the bottom. Now all I do is I look at these 3 bumps and I try to center them with my eyeballs. Because, you know, that's my favorite tool. And then punch it where I think it's kind of in the center, right? And then line them up. You line them up by looking at where the paper meets the edges here so that, okay, that's wrong. That's wrong. There. Now they match. They lined up exactly. Make sure that your paper is all the way flat against the edge and then just give it a punch. Okay, same on the other side. Line them up so that they match and then give it a punch. Sometimes it leaves a little dingy there. A little dingy. It's not really a dingy, but I just felt like saying that. Kelly Lise will know why. Hi, Satomi. There we go. I just cut it off with a scissor. No problemo. Now for the inside little green part, I just went ahead and cut this 1/4 inch smaller than my base. So instead of being 4.5, I'm sorry, 5.5 by 4.25, it's 4 by 5.25. And then we're just going to glue that to the inside of the card. And you probably won't want to write on green, so you'll probably want to put a little white liner on the inside of the card so you have a place to write when you're done with it. But that's totally up to you. I mean, you'll still be able to see black marker on there. So don't sweat the small stuff. And I'm just going to make sure that the border is relatively even and then close the card, and that makes that fun little edge on the bottom. And so here is our... Alright, now for the fun part. This is not really the fun part, I'm just kidding. You need to just grab a piece of white paper because we're going to hand make now. Oh, and we're way too far out, aren't we? Far out, man. Okay. We need to make that piece of watermelon. Okay, and all I did was I cut literally a long triangle. I just ended up having to cut off the edge here because it didn't fit in my watermelon. So that's totally up to you. However you want to cut yours, however far you want yours sticking out of your watermelon. If you don't want it sticking out at all, cut the bottom a little bit more and it'll sink in further. But I wanted mine to sit like that, so that's a personal choice. You guys decide how you want it to look. So I'm just going to take this piece of paper and stick it in this little chomper, and I'm looking at this and like trying to make, actually I'm going to cut it in half so it's easier to work with. Try to make something that looks like a watermelon wedge. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just cut it in a triangle. Okay, that looks pretty good. And you're thinking, well, that's not an exact wedge, Jen. Well, no, it's not, because we have to make it that way. So basically your watermelon's going to stick in, right, like this. So you just kind of put it behind your watermelon, wherever you think that's going to go. Oh, and I used scrap paper, so you're going to see pencil marks. No big deal. That's on the back. Nobody will see that. If you want it to come straight up out of your watermelon, that's great. If you want it to come out of the side of your watermelon, however you want to make your card. I'm going to make mine like, okay, mine's going to come out of my watermelon like that. Okay? So while I'm holding on to that, you can see where the watermelon is sitting. Right? While I'm holding on to that, this is where I'm going to go ahead and cut this in kind of a circle along with the card. All right? Just like that. And I'm thinking I want that a little bit further down. There. So that's going to be the top of my watermelon. All right? I'm still holding on to this. This is going to be really important for those of you guys who think this is really difficult and you have a hard time with it. I'm assuming you mean this trimmer, Gen Marker. That's cool. I do really like that one. While I'm still holding on to this, for you guys who think this is difficult, don't let this go. After you do your trimming, you have your triangle, and you've done your trimming, you're going to flip it over. All right? I'm going to actually draw a line on here so you guys can see it on camera. Don't move your watermelon piece. I'm going to draw a line here. You can do this too, if this helps. No one's going to see this. It's on the inside. This is where my watermelon's going to sit. That's going to be your guide for where to put your double-sided foam adhesive. You can use regular adhesive, but just know that if you do, being able to slide this in and out of that little spot is going to be a little trickier. But you can do it. So if you can't afford or you don't have the foam adhesive, just keep that in mind. So I'm not going to butt this up directly against that line. I want it to have a little bit of wiggle room, but yet stay on that track. So I'm going to just put it a little tiny bit away from that line, just so that I know that it's going to be able to go in and out without sticking too much, okay? And then I'm going to put one on the other side. That one's maybe a little bit too wide. Cut that down a bit. All right, and now if you don't want your edges to, you know, be buckled down and stuff, you can go ahead and do, you can put on more and more, as long as you don't impede on where your slice is going to go. You could put more foam here and here and here, you know, wherever you want to do that. So I'm just going to take this extra piece I have in my hand here and put it here. Now, we probably should have done the embossing first, but since we're at this stage, because it might kind of warp my tape, that's all right. We're going to give it a shot. If you want your watermelon to be shiny, like, you don't have to. This is where, before you put the tape on, this is where you want to put your embossing powder. So I think since we do have time, I'm going to go ahead and do that with mine. Hello. I'm going to use Versamark Dazzle. Doesn't matter, it can be plain old Versamark. Really makes no difference at all. But I'm going to put this underneath it so that I don't get Versamark all over my desk. Just because I don't want to have to wipe it up. And then, oh, I have my white out. I need my clear. This would be a really great time to use your UT if you have it. U-T-E-E, pronounced U-T. UT. Ultra thick embossing enamel. I'm not going to use that today. I'm just going to use regular clear embossing powder. But you totally could use your UT on this. So just smash that Versafine, not fine, Versamark, sorry. Versafine, let me show you the difference. Versafine is a black ink. Versamark is a clear ink. Okay, so we're using Versamark right now. A clear, sticky ink. And I'm going to try to get that all over the whole thing, because I want my watermelon to be shiny. Shine it up. Shine-ola. You guys can decide whether you want yours shiny or not. It doesn't matter. So if you're not into that or whatever, hi Krissa, or you don't have it yet, or you're uncomfortable because you haven't tried it yet, but you're gonna, right? You're gonna. Then skip that part and just do a regular matte watermelon. It's no big deal. It's a card, right, guys? It's just a card. It can be anything you want. And then always put your cover back on, guys, because you don't want to be cleaning that up. Trust me. And this is going to leave a little bit of a mark. But I'm going to put it right on the white part here. I'm going to use my reverse tweezers to hold this. I do not think these are linked, but they're probably linked in the store. Reverse tweezers are amazing. If you don't have a pair, they're really helpful. They're like a, you know, third pair of hands. And I have so much stuff in the way of my heat gun right now, I might knock things on the floor. There we go. Okay, watch the magic. We're going to make the magic happen here. Just looking, double checking that I didn't miss a spot. Okay, I'm going to take it off of that tweezer, and I'm going to go ahead and heat that little part and see if I can't get a little bit of that to go. Alright, and that's that. Did I miss a little bit there? I missed a little bit, missed a little bit, missed a little bit. Ta-da! Okay. I'm checking out the back of mine so I make sure that my watermelon is up. Right. Okay. And even though it warped a little bit, once we stick that down, it's going to flatten that out for you. No worries. So now I am looking at this, and since I made a little bit extra of room, mine's going to dip down that far. So if I don't want it to dip down that far, I'm going to want to make sure that I put a little bit of sticky at the bottom so that it can't go down any further than that. So if you don't want yours, let me move that out of the way. How annoying is that? If you don't want yours to go down all the way inside, then you're going to want to put a little bit of foam at the very bottom here so that it can't go down any further. Okay. The other thing is, if you want yours to go all the way down to the bottom, then you can cut right along this whole edge so that it's hidden. Now, I didn't do that on the last one, but I'm going to do that on this one just because I think it would be fun. So mine's going to be hidden except for the little pull tab. And I'm going to cut this right around the edge of the watermelon. Okay, so then I'm going to have to make sure that I put my pull tab on there. But first we have to color the watermelon. How many of you guys are like, Jen, you forgot to color the watermelon? Oh my gosh, watermelon is delicious. Okay, colored pencils back in. So I just used a pink. You can use a pink, you can use a red, however you want your watermelon to look. I'm just going to use pink today, and I'm going to go pretty bright because I like it bright. And I'm going to put a little bit of a rind on the edge of mine. So I'm going to use the light green, and I'm just going to do a little bit of a rind. Now, you can do the whole green rind if you want, or you can do, you know, like there's stripes on the rind like this. However you want yours to look. It doesn't matter. We're not going to judge you. Where's my other green? There it is. Oh, my light green in there. And then I'm just going to color in with that. Now, some of you guys who are like major colorists, you're going to be able to make this look really fancy. I'm just going to make sure that I get it colored enough that you can actually see it. There we go. Yeah, I'm trying to make it not too much darker than that. And then I'm going to do a little bit light green here. I hope that's picking up on camera. It's kind of hard to see, isn't it? A little bit of light green there. And then Then I'm going to do the pink for the watermelon. So I'm just going to kind of pencil in real lightly a line where that's going to go. And usually the outside of the watermelon piece is a little bit lighter than the inside, but you know, we can use our artist's discretion to make it whatever color we want. I mean, if you want purple watermelon, no judgment. Make it purple. And like I said, I really want this to be darker than my last one, so I'm just going to go ahead and be really heavy-handed with this. And I really do believe that if you've got a nice set of alcohol markers, that this would look fabulous with alcohol markers. But I thought, you know what, colored pencils are something that most people have on hand, so why not? Why not use them? Oh, it looks delicious already. And now I'm going to do just a little bit less of a heavy hand here. By the way, these are my Crayola Crazy Art. No, maybe they're not Crayola even. I threw the box away because I thought I didn't need it. These are called Crazy Art colored pencils, and they're like $5 at Walmart. So you guys can all afford these. Whoa, I was way out of frame and I didn't see anyone yelling at me. Yes, clear embossing powder. We already did that and we made our watermelon. I don't like the look of that. It didn't blend the way I hoped, so I'm going to go back over it again. You could spend a lot of time blending these things, or you could just color it all one color. You know, do what feels right for you. I'm going to go ahead and just bump this right up to the edge of that pink. And now the last time I did this, I colored in the seeds with a black colored pencil, but I don't like the look of that, so I'm going to grab a black scrap of paper that I have here. I'm going to cut some seeds out. Well, I thought I had black here. I have a little piece right here. If you've got punches that do that, or if you've got stamps that do watermelon seeds, that would be cool too. I don't know if I have any. I want these to be pretty small, so I'm going to go ahead and just cut or fold this in 4s and see if I can make some little teeny tiny seeds here. They look kind of like raindrops. They shouldn't be too hard to make, right? I got some. Oh, look at that. That's cute. All right, we got 4 of them. I think 4 is going to be plenty. I mean, you can do watermelon seeds all the way down if you want, but I want to leave a little bit of room for a sentiment. There we go. Now we can back out a tad. There. I'm going to have to glue those on, so let me grab my glue. A little bit of glue. I'm using wet glue because I don't want them to fall off. I think the wet glue would be the best. All right, one more. Oops, stuck to my finger. There we go. And that little dude's going to stick right in there. Whoops. And then we need to put on the steek. Is it Jeff Dunham that does that joke? If you guys know what I'm talking about, it'll be funny. And so let's just glue this on, shall we? A little bit of glue. Make sure that you glue it on this side and kind of in the middle. See how I'll put it on the wrong side. No problem. I got my finger to wipe that off. I'm going to make sure that this is coming out like at a certain kind of angle. I don't know if it matters to you guys. That looks good. You don't even have to have that, but you know, I just think it's fun. Especially if you're going to have yours going directly into the watermelon like that. You're going to want something to be able to get that puppy out of there, right? Yes, yes, Kelly, see, she knows jalapeno on a steak. Why does she want to date you? Because I have the steak. Oh my gosh, you guys have to see him. He's really funny. Super funny. Okay, so put your piece of watermelon in there. Peel off all of your double foam backing. Make sure it's not stuck to your foam. And decide where you're going to put that. And I think that looks pretty good. And squish it down. And then that should just go in there. Just like that. Look at that. Ta-da! Hello, watermelon. Oh, so cute. Okay, we need to make the sentiment yet. Take another piece of white paper and use whatever sentiment you have. Like I said, I'm using this one. I do not have this in my store or anything. It's just a really old set of alphabets that I had, so I thought I would start using it. And I just spelled out the word summer. And so I'm going to use my Versafine, not my Versamark this time, my black Versafine ink. There we go. Ink that up and just put that across here. I'm going to do this a little bit different than the last one. I'm going to leave a little bit of room on the top and the bottom when I cut this off. So I'm going to add in a little bit of pink. You could even emboss that if you want to, but I'm not going to emboss that today. I mean, you know, there's like a bajillion things you could do with your cards, and I couldn't possibly show them all. But I think I can give you a good idea and a good set here so that you can get started. So when I'm done here, I will go over to Quality Crafts Group and I will set up an album, which is what I typically do when I'm done, so that you guys can share what you make over there. So this is going to run straight across here. This is how I'm going to do it this time. And I'm going to do a little bit of pink across the edge here to mimic the watermelon, but I'm going to do it in like a sewing line. I don't know why, just because I really love the look of that. And I've been really addicted to putting the little sewing lines on everything. It's my happiness. See, that's what you guys should be. Just live every day. And do what makes you happy. I shared a little meme with my coworkers. Last year, that was really my thing, was to bring in memes every day. And just walk up to random people and be like, here's a meme. And just make them laugh. But one of them was, it wasn't funny, you know, like a funny one. It said, make a list of everything you do every day. Make a list of everything that brings you joy. And adjust that list accordingly. Meaning, if you're not doing things that bring you joy every day, change that. You have the power to change that. And so I'm just going to put a little bit of sticky foam adhesive so that it pops up the same height as the watermelon. That's why I'm making these right here. And I'm putting them on the very edge of this sentiment here. Okay, just a little bit on each edge like that. So that when I put it on, it's going to be popped up. Otherwise, these edges are going to sink in. So I'm going to peel that off, and that's going to go right over the top of that watermelon. And then I won't have to worry about trying to stick something to this embossed part, because sometimes that can be tricky. Sticking things to shiny embossing stuff. How did I do the other card? Let's look at it. I did. I must have used wet adhesive and it worked. So I foam dotted this edge right here, and I used wet adhesive and it stuck to that. So it's on there good. But this one's just a slight, I'm doing a slightly bit different. Just to show you a variation here. And then I'm just going to push it on the sides there, and that's it. Our card is made and our watermelon comes out. And you can write or stamp or do, you know, a sentiment on the actual watermelon itself. I think I did yummy on my last one. Let's check it out. So this one, the rind was sticking out and it says yummy. And this one, the rind doesn't stick out at all. And I don't have anything on there yet, but I like that. It looks cool. So that's up to you. You can also take, now like I said, go over the top of this whole piece and make this whole thing shiny if you want. I don't want mine shiny, but here's another idea, is to take your glossy accents, or what is it? I have liquid glass. I also have this kind called liquid embossing. And I'm going to do it on this one just so you can see. You just pop the cap off. I wrecked my cap. It's a little bit bent, but it still works. And I'm going to put this, it's just like liquid glass. It's just like glossy accents. You have to put it on and then wait for it to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and put this on here and then set this one aside, and I'll just have to wait for it to dry. It doesn't take like 24 hours or anything like that. It just takes like 20 minutes, I think. Depends on how thick you put it on. I'm putting it on super thick, so this might take an hour. Not maybe a half hour. It doesn't take that long. Not overnight or anything like that. So just the rind will be shiny. That looks cool. I'm going to leave that as is. So let's just set that one on there so that I don't accidentally smoosh that in my hand, on the edge of my hand, because I know I would. Oh yeah, Peanut. We're still talking about Jeff Dunham. That's cool. So here's our card. I'm just gonna, I know you guys are chatting, but some of the people that are watching archived are like, we can't see the chat. Nope, gotta be live to see the chat. Sorry guys, but join us live. That would be really cool. I'm just putting a few things away here so that I can talk to you about what we've done today and show you a few of the things that we used, because I like to review for those of you guys who just really like to see what we used and all that kind of thing. So this was the card that I made for you guys. This is the one that you saw. And then this is the one that we made together today. Super cool. I like them both for different reasons. For the size and the color and, you know, how the rind sticks out or doesn't stick out. That's just really cool. Like, I have a really, really hard time, I don't know about you guys, with like doing projects in mass production. It's just totally not me. I do things, unique cards, one of a kind, like, you know, I do several of them when I have to do videos for you guys, but typically if I'm just going to create something, I don't even, I won't make a whole bunch of them. Even Christmas cards. I don't do mass production Christmas cards. It's just not my thing. Somebody wanted to know where you get glossy accents from. So this one is called Liquid Glass. Close to my heart, I think, still sells this. Glossy accents comes from Stampin' Up, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Michelle probably knows. And then I got this one. Yeah, I think I got this in a 3-pack at maybe Joann's on like clearance or something, because it had, this one says clear glass finish, and then it came with another little bottle that said something like sepia, I think so it would dry like looking like sepia colored. And then another one. So I just got lucky. I found this on clearance somewhere. But I'm sure if you looked up All Night Media, you could find it. I'll try to remember to link you guys. There might be some embossing linked below. I just can't remember, you know, all the videos and the links that I do sometimes get a little muddled in my brain. But let me know if you need me to link you to something like this in Amazon so you can find it. I definitely would be happy to do that for you. So here are some of the other things that we used today. Colored pencils. And we used a sentiment stamp. I used just an old ABC set. So if you have ABC sets, get those suckers out and use them. These are ones that I very, very rarely use, and we should because they make really cool things. So you can spell anything you want. You can personalize it. Maybe you want to say thanks. Maybe you want to put someone's name on there. That would be fun. We used the Versa Mark, and I used the Dazzle. It doesn't matter. You can use regular Versamark too for doing embossing, and we embossed in clear embossing powder. We used double-sided foam adhesive, and you can use any kind of marker for marking the back of that. What else am I missing? I stamped in Versafine. I highly, highly recommend you get Versafine. It works for everything. When I used this ink as compared to Memento, which I was totally in love with a Memento until I found this and realized that everything I stamped with this turned out pristine. I've not gone back. I got a refill for Versafine, and this is the only one I use now. Thank you, Judy. Ranger makes glossy accents. Thank you so much. Awesome. Aleene, you said that too. My apologies. Sometimes I miss what everyone is saying. So yes, one of a kind. That is like what I'm all about. I also used this word window punch for my little steek. For the steek. You don't need that. I showed you that I could hand cut one of those by hand, or you can cut it and use your corner rounder, which my corner rounder is spazzing out. Like, I don't know what happened there. Let's try it again. That's a corner. Maybe because it was so close together. I don't know. Look, it works fine. But when I was trying to do like a really tiny one, it kept making this big edge, this big bump. I don't know why. But anyway, a corner rounder is always a handy tool to have. If you don't have one, you can find, these are pretty relatively cheap everywhere. And I think that's it. I think that's all. Let me see if I can, if I bump out a little bit, I might be able to see everything. Except for I like to get my keyboard out of the way so you can see the stuff. Alright, so this is going to wrap up the video for today. I'm really glad you guys came. Check me out on Patreon. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. And I'm on Google+. If you're in a Google+ community, let me know. I would love to share there as well. I'm going to be doing another video today highlighting these flowers. Let me just give you a quick sneak peek. If this is something that you're into, if you like vintage looking things, this is a sneak peek of what I'm going to be doing my next video using. These fabulous flowers from Graciela. So stay tuned. This afternoon there'll be another video coming out highlighting those stamps. They're digital products, so they're really easy to get your hands on. They're instant. I love instant. You know, who doesn't love convenience? So I hope to see you guys for that. I hope to see you on the Patreon and also in the Quality Crafts group on Facebook. And before I go, I just want to go ahead and show at the very end here, since someone told me do not interrupt the flow by adding extra things in. This is the end. I want to thank my patrons. This is my patron list. Oop. Well, it would be if I had one there. I think I could probably add it. You guys don't mind. You love hanging out with me. I'm going to add it right now. My Patreon. I update the Patreon list all the time just to make sure that I have the absolute latest thing. Oh, well, I don't want it to like totally disappear on you guys. Where did it go? Here I am. Now we'll give it to you. There it is. How come I'm all blacked out on the other thing though? Oh no, that's not good. Oh, here it comes. So Deborah Miller and Deb Witt are my VIP patrons. I don't normally just mess around with this like this at the end, but I just wanted you guys to see that. Thank you to the new Patreon subscribers: Alina Floria, Kay Myers, Rhonda Schnacky, Brenda Tobin, Deanna Goldie, and Tracy Bradshaw. And who was it that didn't? Ah, shucks. There was somebody that wasn't in here originally, and so I apologize. I hope I have fixed that, and if I haven't, let me know. If I'm missing anybody, if you're like, hey, my name's not on there, please let me know. I'm not infallible, and I really do have respect for each and every one of you, but I make mistakes, and I need you guys to call me out on it. So no problem if you're late. This is going to archive, and I can't wait to see you guys next video. So have an awesome weekend.